Can we get an F in the chat? Because Bobby Ryan is an absolute trooper, and there's no other way to go about it. The Red Wings are practicing right now at the time of me recording this audio, and the lines go as follows. Tyler Bertuzzi, Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, Robbie Fabry, Pia Sutar, Philip Zadina, Adam Ernie, Michael Rasmussen, yeah, by the way, Rasmus is back, eh? And Sam Gagner, not to mention Rowney, Mitchell Stevens, Joe Veleno, Smith, and Nemesnikov are your extras over there. Notice a name that is not on the lineup. Bobby Ryan. He has been released from his PTO as per Coach Blashill, and this was an absolute jab to my heart, but it was one that I can't look at and say is a terrible move, so let's just go over it right here. Bobby Ryan, as we all kind of know from the Sidney Crosby draft in 2005, was always this really talented, really skilled hockey player, and he made his time known with the Ducks and with the Senators for it. Now, sure, he was overpaid with the Senators, that's why he was bought out. But with the Red Wings after on his third NHL team, he was an absolute gem of not only a hockey player, but of a human being as well. He's had a really peculiar story growing up, as he was a guy that had to change his identity because he was hiding from the authorities, to becoming a great hockey player, to having substance abuse issues, to eventually coming back and being able to recuperate and getting everything back together again, to going back to the NHL, playing with Detroit, and just being an absolute darling. All the comments that this guy made definitely made him a fan favorite just in the eyes of the people that watched this hockey team. He was so good to the fans, and so good to the city, and so good to Yzerman, just being there, you know, in the media, supporting his teammates and supporting the management that gave him this opportunity to play with the Red Wings in 2020-2021. And 14 points in 33 games played, that's not a bad number in the slightest. So, for Bobby Ryan, when his contract expired in 2021, the biggest sentiment amongst the fans was, hey, let's bring him back. There's no reason not to bring Bobby Ryan back, right? And eventually, that did happen. They tried him out in a PTO, they brought him back here for training camp in the preseason, and a lot of Red Wings fans were like, okay, yes, great, we're going to have Bobby Ryan back, and he's going to be good, and he's going to do his thing, and he's going to mentor the young guys, and he's going to be here on a team that he wants to be on, despite the fact that this team isn't really all too good. Bobby Ryan is now 34 years old, so if he wants to win like a Stanley Cup again or whatever, he's likely not going to do it in Detroit. By the time Detroit gets competitive, he'll probably be retired or whatever, right? But then we had ourselves some debate. Because not only did Bobby Ryan come over here with the projection of taking a lineup spot as a potential PTO to regular contract player, but the Red Wings had themselves another player by the name of Lucas Raymond, you might have heard his name before, come out here and really showcase that he deserved a spot too. And it became a big debate where it was like, okay, well, Raymond is really good. Like, we didn't really expect him to be this good. We thought he probably would have used some time in Grand Rapids. And Bobby Ryan is in a position where you can't really put Bobby Ryan on this team and play him outside of the middle six. Like, if you want to go out there and use Bobby Ryan to the best of his ability, you're giving him time with some of the top scorers on your team, you're allowing his offensive instincts to take over and carry his production through and through. It would be really difficult playing Bobby Ryan in a defensively minded, physical, shutdown, fourth line kind of role because, firstly, you would be kind of wasting the offensive potential there, and secondly, he's not really fast enough to keep up with that kind of pace. That kind of role requires a certain type of player style that not everybody is able to fulfill. Just because you're in the top of the lineup or you're playing first-line minutes does not mean you would be a good fourth-liner, quote-unquote, especially on a team like the Red Wings, where you kind of really need these depth guys and these defensively-minded, two-way physical, speedy guys to really keep up and match the rest of the league's pace. Bobby Ryan was never really known for his speed, especially after his Ottawa days, so it was a little bit more difficult to justify putting him in the roster if a guy like Lucas Raymond would go out there and take one of the top right-wing spots alongside of Philip Zadina. This is what Steve Yzerman said about the departure of Bobby. We felt that Ryan had a good preseason for us, but due to roster limitations, we aren't able to offer him a contract at this time. We will continue to evaluate whether there is an opportunity for him to return to the Wings as the 2021-2022 season begins. And so now, You look at where things have gone. Lucas Raymond is playing on the first line for the Red Wings with Bertuzzi and Larkin, and Bobby Ryan has been released from his PTO. Joe Veleno earlier today was actually playing on the team as well. He was playing on the fourth line alongside of Stevens and Rowney, so it appeared to us earlier today that Veleno would have actually made the team. However, a bit after practice it was revealed that Veleno was actually sent down to Grand Rapids alongside of Tara Hirose as well as Riley Barber, so yeah, he didn't make the team. And I guess by default, you have guys like Sam Gagner still on here. Nemestikov will likely take over that spot in the lineup because this is kind of what we had just going off of practice earlier. So remove Veleno from this lineup over here, take a look at who's left and fill in the extra spots. This is what our team looks like. It appears that Raymond has made it, Veleno has not, nor has Bobby Ryan even been brought back in that respect. So, with the way things have gone down, the Red Wings have to solidify their roster, I believe, by 2 p.m. PDT. It's 5 p.m. That is the deadline for the NHL's teams to go out there and solidify their rosters, but if I had to guess, it would probably be 5 p.m. Eastern, right? If I'm incorrect, then somebody please correct me in the comment section below, but either way, the Red Wings have to finalize their roster today, which is why the moves have been made, which is why the guys have been sent down and been released from their PTOs, and for Bobby Ryan, this is just the ultimate sayonara because he is a guy that I think nobody wanted to see go, but they could understand why it would have to happen. So for Bobby Ryan, as a departing thing here from the Red Wings, thank you, buddy. Thank you. He was a great character here in the organization. Very good interviews, very heartwarming sentiments from this guy, and I definitely do respect the mentorship, the tutoring that this guy would do to Lucas Raymond, because everybody kind of had in their minds this idea that it was either going to be Bobby Ryan or Lucas Raymond taking up that top right wing spot, either in the top 6 or somewhere else in the lineup from each other. It would be them and Zadina on the top right wing spots, and then you'd have the rest of the lineup filling its way through. But for Lucas Raymond, it was a lot more difficult because he was a guy that was only like 19 years old. You had all the reasons in the world to go out there and play him in the AHL if you really wanted to, because he would be allowed, and the Red Wings love to take their time with developing prospects, but Raymond just showcased himself off so gosh darn well that he's forced himself into this position where he's now playing with Bertuzzi and Larkin. And we still had Bobby Ryan, despite the fact that this was going on with the organization, talking to Raymond on the bench, giving him pointers, telling him what to do, telling him what the plan is. And I think that's a super admirable move because this is the guy that's probably going to take your job. If you don't perform better than this guy, Bobby Ryan, you're going to be kicked out, and this guy, Lucas Raymond, is going to play instead, and he has a lot more obstacles than you do. It's why I always say that I love it whenever somebody who is unexpected in a lineup makes a lineup, because it means that they outperform somebody that we thought would have been in that lineup instead. Sure, it makes problems for the other player who is like, oh, Bobby Ryan was supposed to be on this team and now he's not because he got outplayed, but it just means we have somebody better in that spot too, and that in itself is valuable to the greatest degree, because Raymond, firstly, he is not 34 years old like Bobby Ryan is, and come on, he's just a lot more dynamic, he's a lot more fluid, he's a lot more speedy on the ice right there. And I don't want to see anybody in the comments going out there, oh, why could you not have just had Raymond in the bottom of the lineup instead and have Ryan in your top 6? Well, because why the heck would you want to play Lucas Raymond in the bottom 6? You want to do that, send him to the AHL, give him top line minutes, give him the experience as to what it means to be the guy, manning the ship, being the best player on your team, or given that opportunity at least to be the best player on your team, because if he was on the Griffins, then yeah, he'd probably be the best player, most talented guy on that organization. But you wouldn't want to play this guy in the bottom of your lineup. So it was either top 6 or bust for Raymond at the NHL this season. Top 6, or excuse me, not bust, but AHL top 6 or NHL top 6. And he would have to force his way onto that lineup, which is what he did so far. Like, after we had the practice lines earlier today, I was kind of like, okay, in my head, yeah, like Raymond is making this team. There'd be really no reason for him to be sent down if they're already putting him at the top of your lineup with the best guys on the team. So for Red Wings fans, talk to me in the comments. What do you think about Bobby Ryan being released from his PTO? I, for one, just kind of hope that wherever he re-signs, it's like a cup contending team. Give this guy an opportunity to win a Stanley Cup again, because he's kind of deserved it after all this time, after all the hardship he has gone through, personally speaking. He stayed in Detroit in the first place because he liked the city, he liked the people, he liked the organization, and he liked the hockey team. if he goes to another team, I do hope it is a cup contender that gives him the opportunity to, I don't know, play in a second power play unit or whatever, just because he kind of deserves that. Talk to me in the comments, though. What do you think about Raymond making the team, Veleno getting sent down because we had to wait a little bit after practice to get that confirmation, as well as Bobby Ryan and his departure? I hope you enjoyed this video of Trolls 99, and bye.